What sort of language are we going to use in this podcast? Just in English language, or maybe we can add some Nepalese language, our mother tongue?
Let's just go by English first and
Mhm.
then see how it goes, and so that our audience would be a broad spectrum of audience, so we could reach out to from people from India, Nepal, Pakistan, Afghanistan, whoever could relate.
Okay.
And so in this podcast I'm planning to talk about the international travel journey and coming to Australia from Nepal. So yeah, so it could be relatable for all the people who are from nearby countries.
And we're trying to, of course, come to this country.
Yeah, and so anyone who is planning to come to Australia and explore what is out there for themselves, so they could get a reality check for themselves. And yeah,
So in this podcast, we will definitely talk about the hassle we have been through and the journey we have been through. And we'll keep it simple, unfiltered, raw. Will not add any kind of masala dosa.
definitely.
So we have one audience back here who was laughing since this is our first podcast.
Yeah, so if you hear any background noises, then consider it as a background noise.
Yeah.
So where shall we begin from? Since we haven't planned anything.
Yeah, exactly. So let us introduce ourselves first.
Yeah, definitely. That's the point. So I am Sudeep. So myself, Sudeep Ravidikari. I'm from Nepal, and I completed my background in IT sector. So I'm kind of a tech guy. And yeah, I like to keep myself updated with all the AI evolution. So it's kind of my hobby that I like exploring what's going on around the world with tech things and tech specifications. So I like exploring gadgets like laptop, mobile phone, with wherever I got the latest tech and technology wise. So that's kind of my hobby, passion as well. And other than that, I build softwares. And besides those kind of uh, things, I like playing football, especially soccer, more out of the all the other games. And in my free times, I also play chess, like which you have observed. Yeah, so that's quite noticeable for all the people around me.
I will also introduce myself because there's like 200. I think saving to keep it just casual, but it's just elongating and going on and on.
Yeah.
So, okay, myself, I'm Manish Kagi. I'm also from Nepal. So, I came here in Australia back in September 2025. And it's not been long that I'm here. And the fact that we're sharing the same house and the bond has become obviously different and special since we both came from the same hometown and same country. We share same sort of everything.
Yeah, culturally.
Yeah, culturally. And talking about myself, how would I explain myself? Most of the way, maybe. Okay.
So yeah, we haven't been like casually introducing to anyone else.
Yeah.
Like we are used to introducing each other's professionally
Professionally and
or
formally. Talking about the academic things, so it is not really going to help you in here in Australia. So yeah, if you have the skills and if you have the connection, you have a high chance doing something in Australia. But that doesn't mean that you can't do by yourself as well. But things are quite harder if you don't have connection and if you don't have any sort of skills. So I come from the managerial background and I have some sort of managerial skills. So that's what I'm pushing right now as well. It was hard, but within a short span of time, I'm able to develop some few connection, and it is really helping me a lot. And yeah, let's get going with our new topic.
So yeah, and it was such coincidence that so I met him in Adelaide for the first time in September 15th or somewhere around
No,
there.
no,
I don't really remember.
December.
December?
Yeah.
Okay, so he also came to Adelaide in September 4th, and I came to Adelaide on September 4th. So that was a completely coincidence.
Yeah.
And I actually came directly to Sydney first on 2025 February 4th, and then I moved to Adelaide on September 4th.
So it happened to be on 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that was the
You were here in 4th February. So
yeah, 4th February in Sydney, and then I landed in
4th September and Adelaide.
Yeah.
That's great.
and it was such a coincidence. Like I could not like what like we are sharing such a same kind of journey,
Yeah.
and we are starting at the same point again and from September 4th onwards.
And it happens to be the same sort of fashion with the videos, and also he likes to
Yeah.
travel and explore things, and same goes with me as well. I also like travel. I also like to explore new places. I also like to explore new things and all.
So yeah, we basically have the same interest regarding photo shoots and videography. So and he already told me that he had been running a photo studio for
Yeah.
already 6 months.
Yeah, back in
So,
Nepal,
yeah.
I used to run a photo studio, but it was really long time ago. Right after uh, completing my school, I happened to have one shop of photo studio, and I almost mm, get that running for 6 months, and later on, I started my college, and I started my different journey back then. Yeah.
Okay, so you mean after school, meaning like +2 or
No, before +2.
after completing your 10th?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
So the thing is that I started working when I was 16.
okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've been working a lot.
Okay, that's a motivation for somebody. That would definitely be a motivation. So, did you have the gears required for to run the Photoshop or for the studio, like
Yeah,
camera and all
the
these
thing was
issues?
like, um, actually, it was my cousin for the studio, but he was preparing for EPS. He was uh, studying Korean language, and he was
Okay.
trying to go to South Korea. At first, he showed me everything, and he taught me everything, how to use the camera and how to use the
Okay.
Photoshop and how to handle the business and all.
Mhm.
And I was able to catch up in real short time.
Okay.
So he was focused on his studies and all. So he handed me that stuff on me. So
Okay.
yeah, I had shot up everything. So
Okay, that's quite impressive, I guess. So you get to introduce into the photo studio business and in a quite early age.
yeah.
So yeah, then yeah, that's good. So you get to explore everything within a very short span of time. And well, in my case, like it was like a side hustle, a side hobby. So when I was in 10th, I had a small, not me personally, but my mom had an iPhone 5S. So I used to borrow her phone and go cycling on it and film myself around. And most of the videos I don't really upload it, but
It was made a blog.
Yeah, it was a blog. There is one video that I have already uploaded, but there are several others which I haven't uploaded it because they were just kind of like a personal memory for me to look back after I get older or I'm already older than that. So I could start watching them back and realizing how funny I was. Like
So yeah, I would like to add something about this podcast. So before coming here, I was trying to start podcast like in Nepal as well. Uh, so I used to go to the gym, and there was my friend. the other friend, I met in the gym. So he also had same kind of passion, and we shared about our passion and hobbies and all. So he was also interested in podcast and all. So he also kind of wanted to start a podcast with me, and we planned different topics related to sport, related to politics, because there was some sort of politics ups and downs like
Yeah.
so he also wrote some scripts for the podcast. I also had some ideas. I also wrote some ideas for the podcast. And the thing was, we were actually looking for a space to start our podcast.
Okay.
And so after that, we happened to apply for Australia. And within the 3 or 4 months, we got the visa. And unfortunately, I couldn't start that podcast with that friend. And now Uh, it might be a destiny. Yeah, yeah. Now we are starting a podcast. I don't know if it will be uploaded in internet or not, but I'm happy.
So how long was that ago?
So I came here back in September.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost 7 months. So it was about 9 or 10 months ago.
Okay. So I had a lot of people in gym who already started their podcast, but I didn't really have the space. What do I say? Because I used to live in a hostel when I was in Nepal. So I didn't really have much of a space.
Yeah, to run the podcast.
Yeah.
So we also had the same problem. So he used to live on rent, and he didn't have much of space. And I was planning to start a podcast in my own home, and I was planning some design and all because I used to work in an interior design studio. So I used to make a space a little bit catchy and the space that gives vibes. So we wanted to invest some money for the space album. So
Yeah.
I was planning for that space, and I was looking to build small studio in my own house. But unfortunately,
So yeah,
my destiny was written here in Australia. So I'm going to start my podcast right in Nepal.
So yeah, we all have the same feeling that we have this tiny little dreams that we wanted to start podcast, and we see some influencer like that, and we wanted to invest something so that we could do it better, you know. Like so, I guess that's where we stop ourselves from doing or starting it.
So also I could say that from the evolution.
Yeah. So instead of just doing it, we try to do it better and start planning for it. And sometimes doing such kind of procrastination just stops you from just beginning it or starting it.
Yeah, that's true.
So sometimes you should improvise it, I guess. So
like today, yeah.
Yeah. So today we were not really planning for it, so we just it's like we were interested in these things. So
it's about midnight, guys.
Yeah.
Actually, we just finished one movie. It was an Indian movie, actually Malayalam movie, which is quite boring at the starting, and it was really interesting. So after finishing the movie, we happened to be here, saying the cheer and sharing the cheers as well. So yeah, like you said, sometimes we have to improvise things. So we can't always think about the perfect thing. So we also can't always do the perfect thing. So sometimes we have to accept the things as we are. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that were some of the little dreams that we share as we are just passionate about. So videography, filming, and so you guys might be passionate about something that you like to do, and I think so. You should just improvise it and just start it instead of just planning and trying to make it perfect even in your first attempt. So I think it's better to do it first and then try to perfect it later on.
So that's what we're trying to do right now. So keeping aside the thing that we recently talking about the podcast, I want to ask you a question about the life you dreamt before coming here in Australia and the life you are living currently here in Australia. So what are your views on it?
Yeah, so let's get straight to the point. A lot of bluff.
Yeah, lots of love and a lot of daydreaming, I would say, before
Yeah.
coming here.
So we could do that for day and night. So let me just refill my apple cider. And then, so, you want me to refill it?
No, I'm okay already.
So the Australian dream,
Mm-hmm.
I had this dream when I completed my plus two initially.
Mm-hmm. But you came here after completing your bachelor, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I already have my brother over here in Australia. He is already kind of like well settled, or he's a permanent resident here in Australia.
That's right.
So since I already had my brother over here, and he used to tell me about the life here in Australia, so how it is and what are the
Mostly the balance between the work and
how you
personal
maintain.
life.
Yeah, so we expect to upgrade our lifestyle whenever we reach Australia. Then it's gonna be a good lifestyle, good views, nice streets to walk on, nice cars. So you hear a lot of stories about getting car within few months after getting over here in Australia.
Well, in my case, I have been to buy a car. With the one.
So that is true.
Yeah.
So that is true. That's not something you made up, but the struggle behind it. So I get to know about the struggle behind it. So instead of just those highlighted moments, so I had some pictures regarding the background of how to get there and what are the struggles and the pain points. So initially, my brother also suggested me, and I personally did my research over YouTube and whatever resources I could find online. So I went to YouTube, and there are a lot of influencers who will tell you over YouTube and suggest you what to do.
Only limelight things, right? Only things that could possibly be only good things.
Yeah, that
Another reality check, I would say.
There are a lot of sugar-coated videos as well, but there are some good suggestions as well. Like um, there are influencers who would tell you about how much you could earn as a student, as how is life in Australia living as a student, and they would give you a total like how many hours you are able to work, how much you would earn in a week, and so I used to do my own calculations, like how much would I be able to save in a week, and those kind of things. I already had that in mind. So I wanted to pursue my bachelor's first, and once I completed my bachelor's, then I thought I would be more mature than I was back then after completing my plus two, and I would be more independent so good because I have been living with my parents until my plus 2. So for my bachelor's degree, I already had a thought to move to Kathmandu, and so once I start living on my own, then I'll be much more independent and capable of doing things on my own. I had a lot of friends who already came to Australia after plus two, and they were not really happy with happy or matured or they didn't focus to on their studies, and most of them haven't even completed it because they kept switching courses and jumping from one to another. And so, if you wanted to focus on your studies, then you should do it in your home country. So, Australia, it would be hard to maintain a balanced life in between work and studies. So since I wanted to focus on my studies first, and then I later wanted to focus on my career and achieving goals. So I pursued with completing my graduation, my bachelor's degree within my home country from, so it was an abroad degree. So I thought it would have the same value as a university degree. So I proceeded with that.
Mm-hmm.
And once I completed with that and I started, so over time the Australian visa procedure got stricter and it was hard to get a visa. And then I started creating and starting the documentation process and
Yeah,
all
it's
the.
quite hard, yeah. From our country, main part is financial.
Mhm.
So making those documents uh, that fits for the Australian government rule is really hard and it will take quite a long time. So if you happen to see this video, please get uploaded and enjoy it. So I'll suggest you to keep it real and try to make it as strong as per the Australian government rules. So so yeah, all those things keeping aside. So I just wanted to know about the reality check before you come to Australia and after coming to Australia.
So most of the things were, I already got a pretty much of a reality check before I landed here in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really too surprised, to be honest. So I quite had something in mind that it's gonna be like this or like this because of watching all those videos. And
Okay. So how hard was it living in your home country?
for me, like at the time when I left Nepal, like it was politically unstable, and even in Nepal, it was too tough to get a good job in my own sector.
Had you had any job back in Nepal?
Yeah, I had an IT operation executive job role, and
That's right.
yeah, so I was part of an kind of like a government organization back in Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a good financial document as well from there, and I had all these statements and all the things, so which helped me to get away here. And I was hoping that I would still manage to get a job in my own sector when I landed in Australia, but that wasn't just.
Well, that's not the case.
Yeah, that's like a fake dream to have it in your pocket.
Yeah. But if you try hard and if you really do things differently, so you might get a chance as well. So yeah, I think you'd like to add.
And yeah, I was hoping to get my job, but I could not. And I got a reality check when I landed in here, and I applied for various jobs, but I could not.
But in your case, you had your own brother here in Australia, right? Right?
Yeah,
When you landed.
yeah. So he went to Nepal, and we both came on the same flight back to Australia. So
That's a very easy way to
get to Australia.
to Australia. Because in other case, I'm like, uh, if you talk about different case, if someone coming from the other country as a single person who doesn't know anyone in that country, it will be really depressing.
Yeah, I could relate.
Yeah.
Maybe I could try to try to relate.
But somehow you might have felt something different when you came to Adelaide, right? Because you came here alone.
Yeah, when you like even in Sydney, like when I landed to Sydney, it was like kind of like a ghost town.
First time?
Yeah, because when I landed, I came from Kathmandu, so which is one of the crowded cities.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very crowded, and you get to see a lot of people wherever you go, and you you get to keep on talking, socializing. You meet a lot of people, especially in the tourist destination like Parandalaspa and things like that. So when I came to Australia, like there is nobody,
Mhm.
and you don't even see
still,
people.
but still, Sydney is much I mean, like crowd.
Yeah,
in the
if you go to the most famous
Opera
destinations
House,
like
yeah.
Opera House and around there, but other than that, there are a lot of residential zones, so you don't see people walking on the street. They will just get out of their house, get on their car, and then
go to
head off.
work and do their own stuff.
Yeah,
The different cultural background as well.
yeah, they are not used to socializing as we are. There are good people as well here in Australia as well, but it depends like on
Yeah.
from person to person.
So, what were your expectations, and were they met to expectation or not?
So I don't think my expectations were met, for it to be honest and fair, because I didn't get the job that I was hoping to get.
So, back in Sydney, you used to live with your brother, or you used to live by yourself?
So I used to live with my brother for like 3 months, and then I moved out and started living alone on my own. So I got to live with my brother for 3 months.
And that's a privilege, I would say.
Yeah, that is like whenever you are settling in, it's hard to gather everything around it. It's a new
So, for 3 months, you didn't have to worry about your rent and everything, because for the other case, I would say in our case, so we had to worry about the rent, the grocery, and everything the right after we landed here. So that's a different case, and I would say it's a very like great privilege to have.
Yeah, it's good to have somebody to look after you.
Yeah, exactly.
When you are in a foreign country and you have nobody to support you.
And the other thing is homesickness as well. So how about you or me after you living your like after you lived by yourself?
Yeah, you would definitely miss your time with your friends and living in your hometown, and you already know the neighbors for years. And when you just move to a random city, then you know nobody about, and then you tend to look for people, socializing, making friends, which is hard to do so in this new country. And even in my earlier days when I landed in Australia, it was hard to understand. Even if they speak English, I could not understand a single word.
Exactly. So I would like to share one of my experience. So after coming here in Australia, so on the next day, we went to the bank and we were there at the door, and the person who works in the bank, he was definitely Aussie, and he said to come over, and he asked something to me, and I was like, I had no idea what was he asking me about, and I had one companion who had been living here for almost 3 years, and he took over the person, and he had the things simple. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that could be relatable for everybody who landed here in Australia for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. And the slang, I mean, like, not the slang I would say, but the accent they had is kind of different, you know. So basically, I would say that I learned most of the English from the movies.
Yeah.
So I used to watch too many movies back in the past. So yeah, that's how I improved my English. So most of them were English movies, from the, I mean, like, they were mostly in the American accent, but the American accent and Australian accent is kind of different. Yeah.
So yeah, that's true. And I still find American accent to understand easier than Australian. Yeah. So I didn't had such an incident, but I could relate it.
So we're keeping our podcast. much alive. We're trying to keep it much alive since this is our first time and we haven't thought of any topic. So I will share my experience about the job. So right after coming here, I was happy to explore the city and new places for 1 week and so on. But after that, we had to thought about, I mean, like we had to think about the jobs and mm, way to earn money because we have to survive on our own. So I happened to post about myself that I'm available for, sorry, I'm looking for job in one of the very famous page in Adelaide. And I got a call from one of the Nepal guy, and he asked me, "Are you willing to do any kind of job?" And I was happy that I got a call in a very short period, and I said, "Yeah, I'm happy to do whatever the work." And it was a cleaning job, of course, and I haven't had any kind of transportation back then, so I had to rely on public transport. So I explained him everything about my situation, and I explained everything when I landed in Australia and what sort of availability I had. So he offered me a job and he sent me the details of everything. And it was really, really, really far away from the place where I lived. I had to change 3 bosses. And even though it was really far, I accepted that job because I had nothing to do. And I did it for 3 days. And later on, I couldn't continue because of the distance. Travel time. Yeah, travel time. So the job was only for 2 or 3 hours, but I had to travel the same time for. So how much time did it took you to get up at that job destination? Around 1 hour 45 minutes to 2 hours. So I had to walk. Yeah. So that's, I guess, too much time is spending on travel time to exactly do short shift. And later on, when I tried calling him, he didn't answer my phone. And after that, he called me again. So we're really sort of staff right now. I would really appreciate if you could do one more day. I would also add to your, I mean, like transportation fees and all. And then, okay, I'll do it. So I went and I did the job. But later on, when I asked for the payment, boom, he disappeared. So I would say don't trust anyone. So I haven't met him, and later on he didn't receive my call. So that was a really, really bad experience, and that was the first job here in Australia. And yeah, after 1 month or something like that, I got a call uh, from the police department, and it was a new number, and I no, I think it was from the same his number, the person who disappeared earlier, and they said that they are from the police department, and how do you know this person? And I was like, okay, this guy might be a fraud, and he might have got caught by the police, and I shared everything. So after hearing my story, they were also like, okay, you're good to go. I'm like, after that, nothing. Okay, so I will not say I had such incident, but mine was fine, I guess.
So I spotted this famous platform called Gumtree, and I used to go through it and find jobs whenever I was available. And I found one guy, and then like it wasn't any bad thing. So, but I was prepared for any bad situations or getting fraud and or scammed. So I contacted him via Gumtree, and then he told me to come on site and do the job on Saturday, I believe. And I went to the site. He picked me up, and I did the job for his friend. He picked me up, and then he dropped me to his friend's location, and he was a contractor. And I already had consulted with my brother, and like he suggested me to take some photographs of me doing the work so that whenever I had to file a complaint, then I could use those as an evidence and file a report or do whatever I could. So every time, like every hour, like, is he gonna pay me at the end of the day? Like, I just had that thought back in my mind. So that was my first job doing with a stranger or dealing with any stranger, and I had been catching all the evidence and all those things, and it was really tiring. They won't let you stand for 10 minutes whenever. So what was the job? So it was in the construction site, not really a construction site. It was a landscaping things. Yeah, not really. I would say landscaping, but it was like a concrete restructuring or resurfacing. So the client has a driveway and all those. Before the residential area. Yeah, it was a house. So we had to resurface and we sprayed. I don't know what it is, glycerin or something. I don't really know the names, but we had to resurface those concrete for the traction. So maybe it's for the grip for the car. So and so I had been capturing all the details, and it was really tiring. And but that was my first time that I felt like it was too much. And especially in this construction type of things, like it's hard to do the things because it's a hard labor and it's completely physical. You are not doing anything other than the physical work. Yeah. So it was tiring, but at the end of the day, like after 8 hours shift, and like I later on got to know that you were supposed to give your paid breaks of 20 minutes and 30 minutes extra as a non-paid breaks. But I got none of those, and I was like completely. Yeah, and I have real ones as well. No, so I didn't know that, and I started just. I was just doing whatever he told me to do. So I was just. So he the boss. So he didn't also advise you to take a break. No, I don't know why. He didn't told me anything, and I hadn't even bought my lunchbox because I thought it. I didn't know where I was working. What was the job and what time would you work? I was just excited that I got the job and I'm making some money and I'll be able to pay rents, groceries. So instead of just sitting back in my home in my room scrolling through my phone, I got a job that would actually pay me. So I just took it and I said yes, I will do it. And I just. So did they pay you? So yeah, at the end of the day, I contacted the person who I contacted was supposed to pay me some amount, but he dropped me off to his friend's location, and I worked at his friend's, and I didn't had any deal with his friend. So I was working with somebody who I had not had the conversation with. You're working in between. Yeah, so kind of like a referral or bounce to his friend. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I somehow got paid, but not the actual amount that we had the deal over. But it was less than what we had a conversation or agreed to. But still, I got the paid, and it was the bare minimum or the minimum wage. And still, that's good, I guess. So later on, did you continue the job or no? Uh, I would have continued with that job because even working at the minimum wage for that time would mean something to me when I did have the job. So I would have continued, but I could not get a job later after that work or that day.
So you worked only for 1 week?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reality check about getting a job and getting a first job, I would say. So you have to be, you have to have patience, and I would say don't get too much excited for your first job. Uh, so talking about my experience and listening about his experience about the first job, I would say keep patience and learn and like learn job that you're trying to do that you have been offered.
Yeah, and in Australia, whenever you want to do a job, then you cannot just do get into a construction site and say, "I will do this thing, this thing, this thing. I can do this." Even if you are confident that you could do it, but you need a certificate.
Yeah.
So wherever you go, like in restaurants, bar, you need a RSL certificate, or if you're going to construction, then you need a white card.
Yeah.
And if you try to get into Asia or disability, you need certificates. So wherever you go, you need some certificates. Or even in barista, they need some training or prior experience, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, in Australia, it's hard to land a first job because you don't really have any of these certificates when you first land in Australia. So you need to plan it in a way that in which sector you are good at or you have any relevant experience or what is your career goals in which industry do you want to get into, and based on that you could get some certificate and then start applying for jobs.
So yeah, things would take time. I was also really, really excited, like we say, for the hostel, but it happened to my worst job in my life. uh, it would have been good if I got paid. Definitely. But I happened to land it, and like I happened to land with a fraud, but from the same uh, uh, community. I'm really disappointed that the fraud was from the neighbor's background. Okay.
This community.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and we tend to believe the person from our same community easily. We don't really think about it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, don't get too much excited with the first job. Take your time, research the things that you are doing. Don't panic, and good things will happen.
Yeah, and also the other things are like there are a lot of Facebook pages that they are offering lots of job with
Most of these are
minimum
scams. Yeah.
minimum pays of $70. You don't have to do anything. You just sit back, relax, or anything like that. So what pattern that I have observed with those kind of cases is whenever you comment interested or anything like that under the Facebook post, then you don't you don't really have to ask them questions because they will get back to you. They will ask you about your details, contact details, address, phone numbers,
even your bank account and all.
Yeah. So if they are asking for those kind of information beforehand, before starting your real job, then there's a high chance that it's a scam and try to block it, delete it, unfriend it, whatever you could to stay safe.
So most of the jobs in Australia are really organized, and they'll only give you the jobs after the contract. Even if you're working for a few hours, even if you're working for 2 or 3 days a week, or even if you're working only 1 day a week, uh, these things are really organized. So yeah, the thing that you mentioned about the Facebook pages and the jobs that are available, those are really, 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 and like fraud and scams, I'll say. But my second job, I found from one of the Facebook page, and I contacted them, and they uh, called me for a trial, and I went. I gave a trial for 2 hours, and later on, they were after they were satisfied with my trial and with my job. They sent me a contract. Then only I happened to start my job. So yeah, things are really organized. Even if you're doing the part time or even if you're doing jobs, the less in hours. So you'll get the contracts for everything here. So make sure that you are doing the jobs with the contracts and all. So if you are trying to get a job that I guess and something like that, then yeah, the chance of getting scammed is very high.
Yeah, definitely true. But in my second case, I didn't really have the contract because it wasn't a small retail shop. So so when I came to Adelaide, and I started from doing Uber Eats. So yeah, you could.
Yeah, I could relate.
Yeah.
I mean, like everyone could relate to.
So
Yeah, okay.
when I started Uber, like I was expecting to get a good pay, and I was hoping to make a living.
Out of it.
Yeah, and I was like dedicated that I'll do whatever it takes to get a good pay or to start a hard working job. And but my expectations were really too high for that time or for the Adelaide city because it's not that very busy and
Yeah, it's kind of quiet city.
yeah, so I was out there in the city for maybe 5 6 hours a day, but I could hardly get 2 or 3 orders. So it would be around $12 $13.
For 6 hours.
Yeah. And you would be just stranded all alone by yourself in a city, scrolling through phone, charging it constantly because you are using the navigation. Your phone gets really hot during the summer and you're sweaty. So I guess my expectations were too high because Sydney is a bit too crowded and you get a lot of orders. Yeah. And there are stories from my friends who have made a good earning from Uber Eats as well.
Even with my friends as well. One of my friends living back in Melbourne, he also started his Australian dreams with the wheels and rollers. So, uh, so he came here before me, and we whenever you we yeah whenever we when we used to video chat and all, he used to share me the earnings of the wheels and all. So it was quite good because he was earning 300 and 300 plus a day.
Okay, that's really good. I
Yeah,
guess.
but he used to do almost 8 or 9 hours a day.
Hmm. So I had some similar stories and heard about those, and I got inspired by them. And then I started here in Adelaide, and I I got a reality check, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to accomplish what I had hoped for. So I guess, but that was fine, I guess. But I got to learn,
Yeah, learn new things and
learn,
experience the things.
yeah, experience it in a hard way and learn about it. And if you are trying to do it all over again in a different city, then I would suggest to check back on a Facebook page. There are various Facebook pages for different locations, such as Uber Eats in Adelaide, Uber Eats in Melbourne, Uber Eats in Sydney, similar kind of Facebook pages. And I think you should join them and get a fact check that there is a good potential to earn a good sum of money that you are hoping for. And once you verify it and confirm, then I guess you could proceed ahead instead of just directly jumping into the pool and getting to know that there is no water in the pool. So you just bang your head in the pool.
Okay, that was a nice quote, by the way.
That was original, by the way.
Uh, no, I'm okay. Thank you.
So I already know about your next job roles, how you got it, but you can just still elaborate to our clients and viewers so that they could just get some info and learn something new.
The job that I'm going to work I'm like doing. Or...
Yeah, that was like a kind of like a coincidence. And
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I share my experience doing my other job that I found from Facebook page, and uh, I was doing it, and side by side, I was also studying for the certificate 3 that you mentioned earlier for the HCA and all.
So yeah, earlier you were doing the cleaning job, and then you started the HCA and disability course.
No, actually, the first job I did was only for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Which I didn't get paid for.
Yeah.
And after that, I found a link, or I found a post that they were looking for a person for the restaurant.
On
so
Facebook, right?
yeah, my second job was kitchen hand. So I emailed them, but my email bounced back. So it said that the email address is not correct.
Okay.
And
so that was failed to deliver.
yeah, and I went through their website, and I happened to call the email of their director.
Okay.
And I sent the email directly to the director, and after sending that email, I got the call next day, and it was from the chef of that restaurant, and he said that, hi, Anish, we got your mail, and if you are free, uh, please come for the trial. And I said, okay, I will come for the trial tomorrow. And I went for the trial, and they were satisfied with my job and all. So after that, I got the contract, and I started the job as a kitchen hand.
So how long did you do that job for?
From 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, I started studying healthcare and disability right after the week. The week you started your job? No, the right after I came to Australia. Okay. So the course was for almost 2 months or something like that. So after completing the course, then I was then only able to do the placement, which was about 120 hours. And the thing was that I couldn't skip a day for that placement. Yeah, I had to continue that 120 hours. So yeah, one more thing I just wanted to add, like you need to do 120 hours of placement in an aged care facility or in disability if you are doing the aged care and disability course, or you could go for aged care and certificate 3, or you could either go for certificate 3 in disability. But I don't think that was the case because I met a guy who wanted to do aged care, sorry, disability in certificate 3 in disability, but I don't think there is a course for that. I don't know. I met that guy in my aged care placement. So whatever. So yeah, I think you can't just get the certificate only for the disability. So you have to do the SQL course. Okay. So I did both of the course, SQL and disability. So after completing my course, I applied for the placement. I got the placement offer. So I had to do 5 days. This is different depending on the location, right? So in Sydney, how it is you need to do 120 hours of placement, but you could pick your time whenever you are available. And once you submit it to the HCA facility, then
they will enroll you once you submit all the documents, which will be done by your institute or the agency.
Yeah, but in our case, it was different.
Yeah,
We couldn't.
I also had the same experience
Yeah.
here. In Adelaide, you need to do a complete like 3 week full time
Yeah, full
placement. But there is different settings and schedules over different cities, which is much more flexible in Sydney, and I would prefer that to be the case in Adelaide as well. But unfortunately,
It is not.
that's still not available. But hopefully, that would be the case in future.
Yeah.
So I also had to go with the same experience of 120 hours full time. So you also did that?
Yeah, so I also did that, and I was only available once a week for that job.
Yeah, for that kitchen hand, right?
Yeah, which was for Saturday, and for the placement, I had to be there from Monday to Friday, which is full time. And there were only 2 days left, Saturday and Sunday. And the Sunday, of course, the restaurant was closed, and I had only one day, Saturday. So I was doing only one day of it. And the thing happened that uh, right after finishing my 120 hours of placement, so it was on Friday, and the next day Saturday. Actually, I'm going to drop my wife for the job she was doing, and coincidentally, one of my brother was also doing the same job, and he referred to his manager. And he is also looking for the job. Though I was doing job in kitchen, but uh, which was not that really good, and he referred me to his manager, and I just wanted to drop my wife for that job because she was also doing the same job that one of my brother was doing. So I happened to meet and like I happened to meet that manager in the same day, and he was quite happy, and he enrolled me in the same day.
So you happened to, in that case, like you were there to drop your wife for that housekeeping job, right?
Yeah.
She was doing housekeeping, and you also happened to get in contact with the manager on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you already told me about it, but yeah, that was such a coincidence, I would say. And
I was really happy to get that job.
So what made you choose the housekeeping job over the kitchen hand? Like, was that job the housekeeping job easier, or
No, actually, the thing is
what made you jump from the kitchen hand to housekeeping and switch?
The thing is that the kitchen job is quite hard, I would say.
Yeah.
So, but it's person to person. It differs. Some might say housekeeping job is really, I mean, like hard and.
Okay, how long were your shifts? Like, were they 8 hours, 6 hours?
It was about 5 hours to 6 hours. Some days it was only 4 hours, and the thing
Okay, so it was not fixed and it could vary from day to day.
Yeah, and the thing that I got disappointed for was uh, I had to travel almost 15 kilometers for that. And some days if the restaurant get quiet, if even though I had a brochure for 6 hours sit, if the restaurant was quiet, they used to tell me, "Manish, I'm really sorry for today, but you'll have to head back to your home after 2 hours and 3 hours."
If the restaurant is quiet, then
Yeah.
you finish up early.
Yeah, so that was really frustrating for me at some point as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose this job, the current that I'm doing as a housekeeping. So I started as a housekeeping, and later on, uh, when I went to do the things, I'm like, I know. So my background was managerial background, so I happened to talk with manager, and they were kind of sourcing for the supervisor for the hotels and other administrative tasks. So I happen to explain my experience back in Nepal, and yeah, so I would say it was a coincidence, and I would also add a luck.
Mhm.
So currently, I'm working as a supervisor for a company.
Okay,
So
and to get into that administrative role, how did your English proficiency help you? How do you think that did it help you overall, or
yeah, actually, it did really help me a lot. So
yeah, because when you landed in Australia, it was
Mhm.
hard to understand people and having a proficient or the smooth conversation. And so, how long did it took you to get fluent with the communication part?
so for the communication part, I would say it took me more than a month
Mhm.
to get my confident talking with the people and all. So I would say that I used to stutter when I
And I still do.
when I try to speak to the other person. And yeah, sometimes like you said, I also do sometimes even now as well. So yeah, having a good proficiency in English is a really good thing to get a job.
Mhm.
So the place where I'm working, they have the persons. I mean, like they all are from the different countries, and they also don't have that big level of English proficiency, I would say. So out there, I got filtered, not just by my language, but by the way I behave, the work ethics
Mhm.
that I brought to them, and the experience that I had earlier. So those were the things my manager were, and like my manager was impressed,
Mhm.
and he referred me for a supervisor post. And after doing some probation period, I got the post as supervisor, and I feel happy that I got the job that helps me secure my day-to-day life now.
So overall, your communication skills, work
Mhm.
ethics, and the managerial
Yes,
capabilities
yeah,
and skills overall brought you to that position to be selected for that
yeah.
role.
So uh, I was the only person that uh, joined that company at last,
Mhm.
and
And escalated to
I
your higher
accepted to that.
positions. That's quite an early achievement, I would say.
Yeah, and I would say it's not. I mean, like I would say it's not just about your language and all, but I would say it's your luck as well.
Yeah.
Because it was really a coincidence, like you mentioned. I wanted to, I wanted to just drop my wife to a job,
Yeah.
but I happened to join the job in the same day as well.
Yeah, definitely. Luck is the new superpower in Australia to get a
Yeah,
job.
and yeah, connection as well. If you have good connection, you'll get a job easily. And also, uh, I would say your patience as well.
Yeah, that's true. Because you need to wait until there is a vacancy to apply for that role. Otherwise, no matter how good you are, you could be better than someone's company's manager, but you could still need to
Yes.
have the patience and wait for that position to get vacant.
So right thing will come to you at the right time. So you just have to be there.
Yeah, you just have to be there searching for it, and
Yes.
you should be
But
keen.
but you don't you can't depend on just luck. You just have to try and try and try. But you can just sit there and wait for your luck. Oh, okay, I might get a chance with my luck. But yeah, luck is a different thing. But you'll have to try, and you'll have to, like give interviews, and you'll have to just search for new jobs. You have to apply, reapply. That's the thing.
Yeah, to get into your first job, then I don't think you have much time to think about. I applied and I did get that response, so you don't have much time to think about that. You just have to keep on applying and applying until you land a job.
Yeah. So
Because you can't be like, I failed and I could not get this job. I really wanted to get that job because
back when I was doing the business job, I used to apply daily 5 or 6 jobs in a row.
Mhm.
The thing that I always used to get in my email was, sorry, unfortunately,
You were not
nothing.
selected for this
Yeah.
round, or you were not selected or proceeded forward with your applicant.
So so yeah, you just have to wait, and you just have to do your things from your side, and wait for it. That was the only thing I would say. I would suggest.
Yeah, that is true.
So what's the time?
What time is it?
It's 12:15 a.m. and we're talking about our journey, our job, and the things that we did. And we're talking about the job. Recently, me and my wife, we uh, sat on this table and we applied for the job. It was from the supermarket, one of the biggest and one of the famous supermarket of Australia and New Zealand. And we happened to like got the job for the both of us. And he is also now doing the job for the same company.
Yeah, that was like that was my second job since I landed in Adelaide.
Mhm.
So I used to do it. I used to work in a factory, a meat processing factory, and then I happened to get that job on a platform called Gumtree. So I was just doing my Uber thing, and whenever I had back in time, I had no orders, and I was just waiting for this order on my phone. I used to go on that platform and look for any vacancies or role that could fit my availability and my time limitation of 24 hours per for 48 hours per fortnight. And then I just applied for that job role and I instantly got a call back. And she told me to meet at the shop, and then I directly headed to that shop, which was like 5 kilometers away. And then I just drove to that location and I met his son. And he told me to come back tomorrow to get a trial for. It was about 5 hours. So it was officially. I don't think it is official to allow trial for 5 hours.
Yeah, it's actually only
2 hours.
like 2 hours. If they happen to like uh take you more time,
then they would actually have to pay. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So yeah, I didn't really get paid for any of those time, but since I was desperate to land that job and I didn't have any job, so I didn't do anything about it, and I just did that 5 to 6 hours trial, and then he told me that, can you do this job? And I said like I was desperate, so yes, why not? I'm capable of doing everything you asked me up, and then he told me then let's just begin from tomorrow or next week, and then I started that job. So and after a while, so that was a very physically demanding job, and doing that, I was still able to manage that along with my studies, and he was really nice regarding my flexibility and college schedule. So he changed the roster of another person who was working within that shop. just to
manage the timing and
yeah, just to manage it alongside my studies as per my availability. So
okay, that was really good of him.
yeah, that was really good, and I still appreciate him. And I'm actually planning to visit him once again, maybe next week.
Mm-hmm. To thank him.
Yeah, and to see how he's going in overall.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So I worked there for maybe around 3 months. And then I was alongside that, since it was a very physical job and I was doing a casual job, I had no contracts, anything like that. So he could just fire me the next day if. But he was a nice guy. He wouldn't really do that. I don't think he would. But I still wanted to get myself
secure job, more
secure job, a good-paying job, and an easier one than that one. So I had been looking for jobs on career page of all these big companies, and I had an interview, and then I called a sick leave in that job, and then I went to that interview, and fortunately, I was selected, and I used ChatGPT to prepare for my interview.
Yeah,
And ChatGPT was really good. Like it gave me all these specific questions that they were about to ask you, and it was really helpful. Like almost like 50 to 70% of the questions were given already by ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So
Some like all these questions.
yeah, that they won't ask you like since I'm not applying for any administrative tasks, then it will be something generic like why do you want to do this job? What do you see in this job? And how long do you plan to do this kind of jobs? How do you think you fit into this role? So those are kind of basic questions, and that is that would be obviously given by ChatGPT as well. And it definitely helped me to prepare a better answer to those questions. So then I cracked the interview, and then they gave me 2 weeks of time period before I started to that next job, and then I told him like I won't be working here for too long, and I need to leave or quit, and so I quit it from that job, and he started training another dude at work alongside me. So we were working, three of us all together for 2 weeks, and then I left that job, and then I started working in this Woodworth group. So it's since it's a corporate world, so you get all the job benefit and all the essentials, so you are well taken care of instead of comparatively to my last job, it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's because of the union as well. Because the most of the things that are bounded by the union's rules and
yeah, there are legal boundaries that the companies or corporate would have to abide by, and you get all the pay benefit. I don't really know about the unions because I'm not really a part of union, but
yeah, because I happened to have that conversation with union in my first interview, I mean, like induction day, and they said that whatever the pay rates are now that they are providing, it's all because of the union, and whatever the sets of rules and regulations uh, that gets you to the point of benefit. It's all because of the union. They
yeah,
said that, but I'm not sure about everything. But the Australian government also has different rules and regulations for the worker.
yeah, I also had that conversation from the union party. They told me that if your job is in a high risk category, and if there are a lot of incidents and accidents happening in your warehouse or work environment, then it could be considered a high risk job, and you will be well paid for such kind of job role. So they would try their best to maintain a safe environment at work at every time at all cost.
Okay,
So
that's great. Talking about the safety and all, they are always well taken care of.
yeah.
because we also work for the same company, and I would say it's different and it's really, really good.
Yeah, and you get all the pay benefits and um, above average pay grades.
Mhm.
It is quite above the minimum wage, I'll say.
Yes.
So, and we are both now the part of Woolworth Group. So,
Yeah, that's the thing, guys. Okay, I think let's wrap it up for
yeah,
today.
so today we talked about how we started our journey here in Australia, and we talked a little bit about our background, where we came from, what we did in our home country, and how was it like? What were the expectations when we landed into Australia, and what kinds of job that we went through to get to this day? And and as of now, we're just working as a part of Woodwork.
Mhm.
And so that would be the summary of this podcast. And with regards to that, I think we should summarize it. We should conclude this and
Yeah,